What is up, everybody? Welcome back. You know what time it is. Game Week 6 preview FPL Fantasy. This week we are going to get into our look back at Game Week 5. We're going to talk about 3 topics looking forward into Game Week 6 and then the teams for Game Week 6. But before we jump into that, I want to introduce the guy that I can't do this show without, started since day 1 with. Doc, how are you doing? Doc, Doc. All right. Well, I guess Doc's not going to chime in, so you know what that means. Crazy American is in charge of the reins of the show today. This is going to be a fun one. Let's get into it, everybody. Right now, I am recording after the Leicester Man United game, but I had the stream set up before because I thought I was going to get time to record before. That just didn't happen, so adding an additional point onto my game week points. It's been a crazy game week, 100%. Looked at Henderson, he didn't come away with any points, and even though he was playing Man City, I thought he'd get a couple more saves because City tend to be a very attacking team. And you would assume that they would have so much more shots than some of these other teams that Nottingham Forest had played. I thought there were saves galore to be had for Henderson. Then if you look at my backline, Zinchenko didn't play. He's getting subbed out for Trippier, who did play but got the same amount of points. So that's a wash there. Cancelo, 12 points. What a beast. Following through with a goal, finally looking like his old self, but let's be honest, it was a very low XG opportunity that he got, that he scored. Perisic pulling in 1 point for me. Oof, that one hurt as a Spurs fan. Maddison, like I had mentioned, no points on here, but he got 1 point in the game tonight. Maddison, I expected to play. I was hoping that he could probably get an assist or something. I'm actually 4 points off of being in the top 500k again. Just didn't happen. Rodrigo, the sad story of the week. So many people brought him in. I've had him for a couple weeks, so it didn't hurt me, at least my pride, as much. But getting injured, having that shoulder injury, that's never something that you like to see in one of your players or just players in general. Rumor is he's about 3 or 4 weeks out. We'll talk about some replacements coming up. Martinelli doing Martinelli things. Salah finally getting 2 returns. Congratulations to him. Send him a trophy or something. Maybe he's back, but I don't know. We'll see. Tony killing me again this week because Tony, I brought him in when he was on fire. His fixtures looked good, still look good, and I think he's delivered me 2 points since I brought him in, maybe 3 points. It's just unfortunate, a little dip in form. He hit the post a couple times the last couple game weeks. Luck's going to turn his way eventually. I have faith. I'm keeping him right now. My man Haaland coming in here now, getting a hat trick for 2 weeks in a row. Can he make it 3? Time will tell, which I have to say for anybody that didn't captain Haaland and has over 70 points, incredible. Credit to you as a manager. Wow, just with a player getting a hat trick, you normally... Here's my thought, is how I'm looking at it. He is not going to miss the Spurs game. That's a big game. Spurs, yes, they're in 4th place right now, but there's not a lot of distance between all the teams yet that they can just rest Haaland in a big game with that type of competition. He's probably going to be rested in either Villa or Champions League. As an owner, I want it to be Champions League, but I could see it being Villa. Additionally, yeah, you could look at Kane. I think Kane would be a pretty good option also. Playing Fulham. Fulham, defensively, they're not the worst. They're not the best. They're not conceding massive amounts of chances like we see with like Nottingham Forest and Leicester. So I think Kane could be a good shout too if you don't have the 2 others. I think the safe route is Haaland or Salah. And it's funny to say this as a risky manager myself because I love taking risks, but captaincy is like one of those things where if you get it right, it helps you so much, and if you get it wrong, you're so far behind the pack already. Captaincy is the one thing that I pretend like it just doesn't exist. I'll captain Holland or Salah, and I just go with it. Every once in a while, I will make a differential captain if there's somebody that's really standing out that nobody's talking about. But for the most part, I just kind of somewhat follow that pack mentality just with the captaincy, just because I feel like it's so crucial at times during the game week. And I know I also said those that didn't captain Holland and still had great points, clearly it's possible. The second thing that I want to go into and I want to talk about is premium defenses. So there's, as there has been every game week now for a couple game weeks, there's the scare of, oh, what's City doing? You know, they gave up 2 clean sheets in a row, and now they just got a clean sheet against Nottingham. So now everybody's back on, okay, we'll keep Walker, we'll keep DS, we'll keep Cancelo. That's more than fine. I think those are good assets to keep. Definitely Cancelo, even though he's been having not quite as an attacking season, I'm keeping him unless somebody else in the premium section really comes out on top. In addition to City, we can talk about Liverpool, which I know is a big topic. Not so much do you keep Trent, because I was one of the people that did sell Trent during Bournemouth. Hurt me for Bournemouth game, but this game week didn't really terrify me too much, didn't really do too much damage for the most part to my rank. So I'm not worried about Trent, and I know a lot of people are just, Trent is essential, you just hang on to him and you don't worry about anything else. Robbo, I think if you have 2 Liverpool assets, and we mentioned this in prior game weeks, so I'm not going to go into it too much. If you have 2 Liverpool defensive assets, yeah, you can probably sell one and feel comfortable with that. I understand it's blasphemy, but Robbo also comes with the caveat of Tsimikas is now subbing in for him in games, which there's one of 2 things that you can take from that. Either Robbo is going to be more of a rotation risk, or Robbo is going to bank that clean sheet at 62 minutes, 68 minutes, whatever it is that he gets subbed out. And then if the team scores a goal against Trent, all of a sudden, as a Robbo owner, you're coming out smelling like roses, and Trent owners are kind of in the mud a little bit. And then I think the other aspect to come from is Chelsea. So Chelsea, they're still kind of doing their thing, getting their attacking returns that are being generated starting in the defense. I think that there is just the general realization of, I don't think that you're crazy if you decide to go with lower price defenders rather than all of the big guys, because I'm looking at the top points for defenders right now. Number 1, you have Cancelo, then it's Saliba, Gabriel, Veltman, Dyer, Emerson Royal, Perisic, then Trent. There's your second premium, White, then James, now your third premium, Trippier, Dunk, so on and so forth. I think there is credibility in a long-term hold, but if you're looking to switch defenders in and out, don't feel like you are playing the game wrong if you only have in Cancelo, or you only have in Trent, or one of those guys. Go with your game, figure out what your style is, play to that style. The third thing that I wanted to talk about going into game week 6 is the big one. Rodrigo, my man. 3 to 4 game weeks, he's going to be out. That's a tough one to swallow, especially because Leeds have an incredible run coming up for them, and Rodrigo, I feel like, was pretty highly expected to bank a decent amount of points. It's Brentford, Nottingham, then they have United, Villa, Crystal, and then Arsenal. From Arsenal down, they get a little complicated. That's an unfortunate thing, but the real question is, okay, where do we go? If you're looking for Leeds assets, I would put my money on Aronson. Not because he's an American, because I think he generates the best high percentage chances for Leeds players. And he started to start coming into those assists now. Harrison, I think, is a good shout, but I like Aronson a lot better, and Harrison on his corners hasn't been quite as sharp as we've seen traditionally in the past. Yeah, he can make some moves from play, but Aronson's creativity and his energy on the field is just, it's going to create chances. I mean, look against Chelsea. He was so energetic in Mendy's face. Mendy screwed up, he got a goal. Like, that's the type of quality that I think Aronson can bring to you. And maybe it's not a goal every single time, but maybe it's open space. He can get the ball, shooting an assist in, somebody gets on the end of it. If you want to go for a little bit of a dark horse pick, I think Sinistera is a good option also. He looks like a really great, energetic, great ball control, and really sees the field and sees the game as it's happening, and it wants to be part of it. I think that's another one that you could look at. In addition to just Leeds people, I think Gross is a good option. Trossard could be a good option. I feel back and forth on Trossard. Really looking at Brighton, I think McAllister is probably your better option there than Trossard, so probably Gross and McAllister. And McAllister seems to be on PKs. That's a good idea that you could have there. Who else? So those are kind of relatively around the same price point there that you could go for. If you wanted to go up a little bit, I think you could look at Zaha. He would be a good option. He's been performing really well at the beginning of this season, and he has tough fixtures, but nothing impossible. I mean, Newcastle, he can definitely get a goal in there. United can definitely get a goal in there. Brighton, sure, goal there. Nobody is fixture proof, but Zaha right now on his current form of consistency can do it just as well as anybody else. That's what I'm getting at. And then Martinelli, if you don't have Martinelli, he's a killer of a pick. I know that's closer to the price point too, but it's kind of tough to find some really great options just a little bit above the price point or just a little bit below. I mean, a little bit below, you're just basically looking at 4.5s. My final shout that I'll say could be interesting to bring into your team for Rodrigo's injury is you could look at some of the Nottingham Forest midfielders there. And I know everybody's like, oh my gosh, this guy in Nottingham. But listen, Nottingham, their next 3 fixtures, Bournemouth, Leeds, Fulham. Then they have, so FPL site has a 4 for Leicester in game week 9. So Leicester's a good game to play against since they're 20th in the league right now with 1 point. Then Villa, Wolves, and Brighton. That is from game week 6 all the way to game week 12. And if you've watched Nottingham Forest, yes, they're not your City, they're not your Liverpools, they're not your Spurs, but they're a freaking energetic team. And they are going to make waves in the league. I can't see them not staying up, really. So I think you could look at players like possibly Lingard. Yates has been looking really good. Gibbs White, he was getting in a lot of touches and a lot of being part of the play a bunch. So I think those are the 3 midfielders you could really look at and could possibly bring in some good points for you. So that's kind of my rundown on things to look at going into game week 6. Now let's head over and let's talk about my team going into game week 6 also now. Alright everybody, so here is my team. I have a Holland captaincy and I have a Salah vice captaincy. If Holland gets rested for the whole Villa game, it's going to fall back on Salah. I'm going to be more than fine. If Holland comes in later in the game and gets subbed in, say 15-20 minutes, he needs like 5 minutes to get adjusted to the game, and then he's going to smash a goal in the 6th to 10th minute. I'm not worried about it. As long as he ends up getting a return, it feels like a successful captaincy to me. So I'm just going to not overthink it and just put the captaincy on Holland. Now, what we notice here is I brought in Saliba and Gross for Rodrigo and Zinchenko. Gross, he's been playing alright. He's been getting into fairly decent positions. He's getting points. I think it's another issue or situation of don't overthink it, just put him in. Saliba, I'm doing kind of the Arsenal to Arsenal swap there. This way, I will still be able to get those Arsenal clean sheets that I think they definitely have the ability to get. And I will also have potential to get some attacking returns, although I'm not bringing him in looking just for attacking returns. So, this is what my team looks like right now. I might sub some people off the bench into the starting 11, but I feel pretty comfortable with this, and I'm not thinking anybody's going to go anywhere. So that's my team, and that's the episode, everyone. Game week 6. Just want to say thank you for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Mention us on Twitter, interact with us on Twitter. We always make sure that we comment back to everybody that comments on our videos. We always try to interact with people in the FPL Twitter sphere. So don't be shy. Let us know. Do you think my team is trash? Do you think it's really good? Let's talk. Let's get into it. And most of all, everybody, let's go and get these points this game week. Good luck, everyone.